y'all. Hey, everyone.
No. Let that flow.
Because it's been said that I'm in the Midwestern feel of things because I've been saying y'all.
No, your daughter. I said, oh, that's how you know they can't see it coming out. Y'all.
But yeah, I try not to. I don't even know when it started, honestly.
Oh, I couldn't tell you.
But everyone, hi, hello. Welcome back to another season of When Marriage
and Purpose
Collide.
the podcast.
We're back. What?
Yes.
I know it's a like. We back for another episode. Welcome back to season 4, episode A. 1, 2, 3, 4. Walking through the door. We the Haley's giving you some knowledge in your brain, talking about relationships and singleness, our thing, and we doing it. Hey, doing it. Anyway, welcome back. Y'all, we back. I'm so excited. So for those who don't know, this is your first time looking at us, looking at me, looking at him. I am Lucretia.
I'm DJ.
And we are
Daryl.
A part of the podcast. We started this in actually January of 22. And yeah, January 22. And we just started this because we always tend to be asked about our story.
Yep.
How we got together, how'd y'all do this, what y'all doing now, singleness, dating, all the things. And we was like, hey, why don't we, come together?
Yeah, we talk about
it and encourage and inspire you all who are out there dating in your dating season. You're trying to do it right, trying to date with purpose. You're waiting for your husband or wife.
Okay.
And we just want to give y'all the tools and the resources for what we know, the best we know. What God gives us.
Yep.
So what do you want to say about how this podcast has been helping folks? What do you think?
I'm here so you can get a little bit of insight of my mind.
And what is that?
I don't know, but
the male mind.
Yeah.
Honestly, I needed to have a I'm about to say feng shui, but I needed a yin yang.
Yeah, yin yang.
Yeah, I'm about to say the feng shui.
Feng shui. It's like, all right.
So yeah, that's why I brought him along, so we could have two perspectives, but also just talking to you, with you, for you. So y'all enjoy this season, y'all. So anyway, what we do? What's the first thing you want to talk about?
Oh, we got a new thing coming up, or not coming up.
Before that, we went somewhere.
Oh, anniversary.
Yes.
Anniversary.
Anniversary.
Yeah, we had our anniversary. 7 years.
7 whole years. I was about to sing the Tony Braxton 7 whole days, but
and it was complete. Come on. Anyway, we took a cruise.
Yes.
My first boat.
First time in Florida and first time on the cruise.
Yes.
So,
yeah,
it
was hot. Like the heat here is different, but Florida, that heat, it's on you.
It's a different type of heat.
I mean, smacking around.
I don't even know if you should call it heat. You should call it something else.
Fire?
It's smothering.
Right.
Smothering hotness.
It's a hot pillow. Because you're trying to get away from it. It's like, nah, until you get some air conditioning. It's just sitting there waiting on you. Like, right. Yeah, you coming out here.
Right. But I did enjoy it. We went to Cozumel, Mexico.
Hot there too, but it's still good.
There, and it was good. Just to be in a different place and to relax. We was in hammocks and stuff. Maybe I'll have you show the pictures on here.
Okay.
Of what we did. Yeah.
My big self fit in a hammock.
Yeah. We'll show pictures for those who are watching on YouTube.
There was another big dude. He was looking at me like, if you make it, that means I could get in it.
He never got in it.
He never got it.
But it was relaxing. I didn't feel like scuba diving. Nothing like that.
No. I should be swinging.
But how do you feel? You feel relaxed?
Yes.
You feel rejuvenated?
When I came back, yes. Now it's just like, work.
Yeah, back to work. I still feel like it did carry over a little bit. Even though work is happening.
It carried over to me not wanting to do nothing.
Yeah. True. True.
I'm
Or
like,
not I've been in like
nuts.
the not caring mode. Like I care, but I was like, okay, whatever.
Yep.
I've been in that mode of things like, did y'all make a decision when I was gonna crew? All right, great. Moving on. But yeah, that's kind of how I felt. That's kind of how I felt. So but I enjoyed it. I think it was great for us to celebrate. And we'll probably talk about this later on another episode, but how when taking vacations like this, how it matters and how it does rejuvenate your relationship and what it does for your mind, your mental, and your physical, and just being able to just, I don't know, release. And it's just to be, we had the kids weren't with us. So that's another thing.
I had no thoughts or worries. Sheila, what you thinking of? Nothing.
You just out there just looking at the
looking at the waves. I actually got to see the stars and stuff. It was like, hey, all right, I'm going back in.
It was good. We had a deck in our cabin, so
I made sure of that because I was like, I'm not about to look through a little porthole.
That's what we was gonna do if we had that, or we would have to go out all the time.
Be like everybody else sitting there on that deck.
So anyway, yeah, if you haven't already, check my my page. It shows a little bit of the experiences we had. I'm doing more as we go, so but then we'll have DJ put a little bit of pictures in there. So go on my IG and scroll and see a few pictures of our trip.
I'll throw some photos up.
Yeah. Yes. But happy 7 years. I know we talked about it before we left, when we were at the end of season 3. That was the last episode of 7-year itch. But now we already surpassed and met our 7th year. So we good. We in there. So yeah.
We in that 7.
In that 7. So we are starting with a different segment this time around for season 4. And it's called This Is My
Confessions.
You're supposed to sing it with me.
Confessions. Yeah.
No, it's called Confessions.
I can't sing.
And basically, this is the time where we share, things that we're thinking about. Like, you know how you have confessions, like, should I share that? Is that something? We're going to actually share it, and it could be about everything, world, news, whatever it is, but parenting, family, whatever. But we just want to have you tap into a little bit of what our minds may be going through from the week to week, day to day, month to month. And then it could be just random. So, yeah. You want me to go first?
Yeah, you go first.
All right. My confession, and this is actually stolen from a podcast that I watch, and so I just borrowed it. I should say I borrowed it. I'll give it back to him later.
Okay. I borrowed this.
I'll borrow this confession. It matched me completely. And some of y'all are gonna be like, are you serious? You do this? Like, you probably gonna be upset at me. And I don't care. That's another thing about these confessions. I don't care what you think. So because I'm still gonna do it, okay? Is that I do put, after dinner, and stuff is still in the pots and the pans, some cases, I don't care about putting anything in Tupperware. I will put the pot and the pan in the refrigerator. Boom.
I don't know what you booming. I do the same thing.
Well, we know you do it. We know you do it.
Straight up just.
In some cases, it's like when women do it, it's like, oh my God.
Yeah, man, do it's like,
Yes, it's like we expect you to do things like
that. Except for them glass Tupperware we got, I'll try to use those. But if I can't find
glass Tupperware, that's one reason why I bought those too. The glass Tupperware with is it called Tupperware when it's glass? Anyway, but anyway, glassware with plastic tops on it. Sam's Club, shout out Sam's Club. No, but
okay,
you the homie.
Shout out to Sam. Shout out to Sam.
24 count. No, so it was. Yes, on sale one day. I was like, ooh, I want us to be, because sometimes I feel like we are adults. Yes, we are adults, and we are. But sometimes I'd be like, okay, why are we still doing this? Like, we could level up a little bit. And so I felt like getting this was like, we're still becoming into our fullness.
Nah, we need to go ahead and get us a little butter tub empty and just put food in there.
A butter tub?
Yeah.
You mean the Betty Crocker, what is it called?
Yeah, Betty.
The brown containers. Oh no, we're not doing that. I've surpassed that.
Well, that's a lot of butter.
Yeah. So anyway, that is a lot of butter. But anyway, you got to go through that first and then use it. So that is. Do you all do that? Anybody out there? Do y'all do it? Do y'all still put the pots and the pans in there? Honestly, it saves time for me. If I'm tired, let's go. Let's just put it in there. Like, it's still gonna be there. We still gonna eat it the next day. I'm gonna eat it for lunch. He gonna eat it for lunch. Who complaining? Not me.
Definitely not the kids.
So I'm gonna still do it
because they ain't worried
I
about
don't care.
fridge. They want snacks.
Generational curse broken.
What?
Okay. Anyway, what's your confession, babe? What you got?
I thought of a few things. I was just like, you know what? I think one of them is every now and then I imagine myself tossing the kids on the bed. Just like full from the hallway.
Oh.
Got one hand on the belt line and the other one at the top of the shirt. Just let it fly.
And they're landing on the bed.
Yes.
I think they're gonna land so hard the spring gonna hit them.
Nah. That's if you do some airtime. But then if you do that, they'll hit the fan.
All right.
I mean, like just straight, like just lying
just
in
do
there.
That, and that's a something you aim.
I don't aim
wish
for it.
You could do.
Yeah, without them getting hurt.
And you do it because of what? Like, what's the reason?
Because I can't do nothing else.
Play, or is it?
No, sometimes
is
it's
it
just
when they just annoy, or what's this?
Yeah, it's just
okay.
Less stressed out. Like
I was like, I didn't know if this was play or fun.
If it was water, I'm gonna just toss them in, but they can't swim, so I can't do that.
No, you got floaties.
This is true.
So yeah.
Either way, I want to toss my kids on the bed.
All right. Well, that still could be a goal. It's also a confession.
It's a confession.
What you would do.
I do still have I guess that's a confession part. I have a video of when it was a Delia. Slow motion, her flying in the air. And she hitting the bed.
She had a blast with that.
Yeah.
That was good because she was.
I just never shared that because I was like, I don't know what people think of that, but it was fun.
Dad things.
Yes,
dads, y'all be doing the
body slamming.
Y'all be finding ways and
full Nelsons
that we don't agree with, and y'all still go for it. So
I'll put my son in full Nelson and tickle his armpits, and he can't do nothing about it.
Nathan,
until he get older, and he still ain't gonna be able to do nothing. What's up with you dropping these mics?
I don't know. I feel like I'm mic dropping today.
All right.
Mic dropping. All right.
So we got the topic.
Yeah.
Of discussion.
Yeah.
For this episode.
Yeah.
Which would be.
Yeah.
Is it in that order that you put in, or you?
I mean, you could just say it's
basically.
It's just
men versus men versus women and purity/body count.
Yeah.
And how we talk about that.
Yeah, it's just basically like it's been a topic of conversation on a lot of other podcasts. A lot of other YouTubers have been bringing this up, and I felt like this is a good space for it, from our perspective and what our thoughts are, and how we can view it. And so I think for the listeners out there, we just having a conversation about it.
Yeah,
you just hearing from us, and we want you to chime in if you can. Leave a comment, leave something in down in the comments. Yeah, I was about to say, what else is there to do?
Leave a statement.
Comments. I was like,
review.
What else?
Leave
a review. But yeah, we just want to talk about this because it's so. I don't think we talk about it a lot in the Christian. It's like taboo.
Well,
to talk about this.
If we do, we talk amongst our friends.
Yeah, we don't talk about it like that. And then also, it's not like it's a Sunday sermon about body count. So like, you know what I'm saying?
Verse for it.
So, and, but it's happening, and it's definitely happening within the church.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think we should talk about it. And also if you're dating, what are your views, when it comes to purity? What are your views if somebody you're dating, you want to ask or you want to know? and they tell you, and it might be a high number, then what? So we're gonna just chat about it. And so I was listening to this podcast. How it started is I was listening to this podcast, and can't remember the name right now of it. Honestly, I can't remember the name. And it was two men. Two men are on the podcast, and they were sharing how one of the guys was basically saying how his body count didn't matter, kind of deal. Mm-hmm. But if she had a high number, now the thing is, I don't know what particularly a high number would be for him. He didn't express it, but if she had a high number, then he would be concerned, and he wouldn't date her. Is basically what it was. But yet he was clear, kind of deal. And I was like, huh? Like, how does that even, the apples and the oranges and the apples, it's not, I don't know what's going on. And then also, I want to talk about purity as a whole. That's what we're talking about, like purity, period, men versus women, our thoughts about that. And then also, like I said before, about sex and dating. So let's start off with the topic of body count. Ooh. Was that an issue for you when, I guess, let's go with when you
when I was dating?
Well, I was gonna say when your mind was to Christ.
Okay.
Let's go that way, because when I don't know. Maybe when you weren't. You could talk about that too. Maybe when you weren't, was that an issue when you came into Christ, when you got to the knowledge and the knowing of, being a Christian? What was your stance on body count, and or was it a different?
One thing I don't think I ever had the experience to, go through something like that. Like when I was dating, and we had those kind of conversations. It was never. Neither one of us always had like a high body count, and if she did, she never told me the truth about it. So
true, yeah.
But my thing is, I think a high body count is like on the same level as serial dating, where, say, okay, me as a man, I go from relationship to relationship. Yeah, my body count is low because I'm, being in these short to long relationships.
Oh, short, like.
So say like 6 to 7 months.
Oh,
then
short.
next, I'm in another relationship, and it's for like a year.
Yeah.
And then I'm in another one. It's like another, I feel like it's on the same level as the body count, as a high body count, because you're not going, oh, I'm hit that, but you're still not giving yourself a break. You're just
emotionally, you're emotionally giving yourself away too fast, too soon.
Yeah.
And you're still giving something of yourself.
You're basically just as lost as them.
Emotional body count.
Ooh. Hey.
That's
trademark. Emotional body count.
Emotional body count, you giving away, and also the physical body count.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think about it like that.
But to rewind back, no, I don't think it didn't matter to me. It just depend on what they was doing at that, at that time we met. So if you got a high body count, but then you ain't been in a relationship in so long, that means you're just going around just doing things. I mean, I'm just seeing where your mind at. And I think that's where a lot of guys is putting that into when they say it, they're just lumping it all together. Like, oh, you got a high body count, that means you just out there. Where it could be just either at one point they was having fun and then they stopped. Right. Or there was another time where it was just, a thing. You never know until you actually talk to somebody about it. But if I would have met up with somebody and be like, oh, got a high body count, whichever that would be, I don't know, like 20, 30 or something like that. Like, oh.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to say. Like, what's the number?
Oh, what would be the number?
Well, I guess everybody has a different preference of numbers because.
Well, that's the thing. Some people.
When you came to Christ, even if you're in Christ, maybe a lessened, like maybe
it went down.
It went down, the graph went down because you still trying to get yourself right, together before you actually are pure again.
And I think that would be the biggest factor is like, okay, now what are you doing today?
What are you doing? Yeah.
So you got this high body count, but are you still active in that, or did you stop like a while ago? Like where's your mind at with that? Because I mean, if you was doing that at the same time we sitting there talking, then yeah, we got an issue because I'm not about to be a part of that.
But if but becoming a Christian, you would say, and women, in dating, what would that factor in?
And it shouldn't factor in. Okay. My thing is like, okay, if you follow God, I'm gonna see what you're doing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like the body count don't even matter because obviously you've been forgiven.
You've been forgiven.
ain't my job to judge you.
Would tinge like, ooh, 50, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I would. No, tell you the truth, yeah, I would. Mm-hmm. But I also give people a chance. But I still would have been like 50. Like, what was you doing?
Right. Yeah.
And of course, we still got to do the healthy checks and stuff like that.
Right. That's important right there. That's definitely important.
And because 50, I mean, you was wild. I mean, hey.
I mean, you're forgiven.
You're forgiven, but you was out there.
I love you like a sister in Christ. Like a brother in Christ.
Because I mean, a lot of dudes were like, "What's the place? Within what time span was this happening?"
You have to break it down.
Yeah.
Like what was this time span? Because it could have been, like you said, serial dating.
In other words, it's kind of complicated, but it's not
complicated. It is complicated. Yeah. For me, oh, sorry, I don't know if you.
No, go ahead.
Okay. For me, it was different. Because I was a Christian the whole time, and I was a virgin until we got married. And so I only had to go off of what I know, like my mind. Like, so I knew that I may not meet a man that's a virgin, and I had to be okay with that. Now, what did I seek and want, and was there out there? Yeah, sure. I would have loved, but I knew that most cases it would not have been that way. And so, which is kind of like how the times we're living in now also. Where it's still very rare. Okay. If it happens, it happens. But so I didn't know what to not know, but I also didn't know what he would think about me, and when I said it, what he would think about me, like would he continue, or would he try to push me towards this, because he had a high a body count. I wouldn't say, I don't know if it was high, but because he had somebody's
just to clarify, I didn't have a high body count.
Okay.
I was like, wait a minute.
No, yeah, it was just period, just before him, just dating. And I just wanted to know, I didn't know how to ask, first off, and I didn't know how to seek and to figure out, okay, like, am I going to be okay, basically, in this relationship, in a future relationship, in this dating game or whatever, because I haven't. So I felt a little insecure, honestly. It was a lot of insecurity there, because there were women out there who were Christians who were still giving it up, and I wasn't. So I felt like a lot of men expected me to, even though I was trying to, be pure. But a lot of the times I do know a lot of men just held out because of me, but that wasn't their stance. Like, they still didn't care. At the end of the day, they were like, I'm a man, I got needs. I don't know why all men sound like this when I talk.
Wait, where did I just? We
were just
Tim Ross.
Tim Ross.
I got needs. It's like, okay.
Shoot. Yes.
Yeah.
He was talking about that. But yes. So yeah, it was a little different in my case. But for me, I didn't, like you said, I know that I had to learn the story before, and I had to practice grace and forgiveness with that, because it's like, who am I? You know what I'm saying? Like, you coming into the faith, you are a Christian. You're telling me what you are changed from and what you're transformed from and all the things. And I'm going to say, oh,
I don't like that.
When sex is one sin, when I have two, you know what I'm saying? So what am I? Who am I to put you in a box and to say that I can't? Yeah. That's, to me, would have self-sabotaged this whole thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's sometimes I think what we can do in situations. So yeah.
Now I will say, I think there's some men that's divided as far as the virgin topic, because I know when I told some people, I was like, "Oh, she's a virgin." Everybody's like high five and everything. Like, there's men that want that, but sometimes it's for the wrong reason. But there's men that want that, and there's other men who are like, "Oh, you're a virgin." Gosh, it's loud. Other men that say, "Oh, you're a virgin." Well, that means you ain't trying to.
Go ahead. Just keep
You ain't trying to do anything. Well, I can't do this. And actually, I just saw a clip. They just went on a date, and then basically was like, "Hey, you want go to your apartment and you hang out some more?" She was like, "Oh yeah, we can hang out, but I'm a virgin, so we could just talk. That's about it." And he was like, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and peace out. I can't do that.
What do you think about that? Like,
I mean, there's some men who just like, hey, I want to do stuff, and I don't want to sit there and pressure you to. I know there's some men that manipulate, but I don't want to pressure you from doing, what you got going on, and I want something, and you're not giving it, so I'm gonna head out.
And even somebody who says they're a person of faith, also, can be that way.
Well, yeah.
I know the answer. I'm just asking you.
I was about to say, don't mean they ain't sinning.
Yeah, because that just boggles my mind. Honestly, it does. And I think that's the problem right now, is that on paper, everything looks great. He's a great guy, she's a great girl, whatever, and they're in church
until you get to their sin.
Until you get to that weakness. And it's like, oh, but we could do this. That's fine. Yeah, we're gonna be forgiven later, kind of deal.
Yeah, you messing with something that they're struggling with, and it's just like, I really don't want to give this up. I see you're on a different level. Instead of me taking that from you, which is a good thing. It's more like they're protecting you by keeping you away from what they got going on.
Yeah. And I feel like because I have a friend that was dating a guy, seemed to be really a great guy for her based off, on paper, right? Both Christians, both have same goals. They met, they're on the same page. Everything is going great. And then he just ghosted her, like what? Like, this don't make no sense. Like, everything was going fine. And where are you at? Come to find out, she texts him later and he says that, you're different, than any other woman I've dated. And because I know where you're at with purity, I don't want to mess with that. Yeah. Kind of deal. And it's like, could she have found that out sooner? Or was this what she needed to go through? Does she have to go through this in order for her to understand why he ghosted? You know what I'm saying? Like, is that I'm trying to find a word, obstacle course, the maze, and not the incentive. What is that? What is that?
She's gonna have to jump through hoops. I mean, it ain't gonna be easy. It ain't gonna be like, oh, I'm pure, I'm gonna find somebody right off the bat. No.
I never thought about it like that.
Just because you made that decision, now everybody else in the world is right.
Because everybody's still dealing with something. Yeah. Still people that are broken.
Everybody's walk is different. It's going to the same place.
Right.
We always hear, oh, this is one path. And something like, yeah, but you got to get to that path first.
So you saying so how should she ask about, third date, things are fine. She has not asked about anything regarding what he feels about sex and relationships.
Yeah, but the thing is,
how do you?
When is the third date? Is it like a month away? Like, since y'all met, like when is this third date?
Let's just say that it's been maybe they've been dating for about a month. Let's just put that. I don't know how long this friend issue, but let's just say they were dating for a month and then he goes. In that month time frame, could she have brought up anything to where she would have known his stance, and how would she have done that to make the guy be like, I feel comfortable telling you this? Or,
well, it's whenever y'all get to the point to where you're comfortable to talk about sex.
Okay.
to the point to where it's not making y'all fall. I'm not talking about sex where y'all just sex talking. I mean, like
sexting,
right? Not that.
Well,
I mean, like
try this out to see where we're both at.
Where you at? Oh, you like licking toes? What's happening?
So when your thing is up, wait a minute.
I mean, like y'all actually like in a educational form. I don't know. I don't know if the right.
You're actually in a safe zone,
and not like y'all could probably over the phone.
But in a month, you feel like in a month that's actually a good time.
Yes, okay, because you could save that headache of if that person's not on board.
So 4 weeks, y'all. 4 weeks.
Within 4 weeks.
Within 4 weeks.
Yeah. Not wait 4 weeks and then talk about it. No, within 4 weeks.
And it's like it's kind of like gauging their path. Like it's in a way that it can kind of curve into when you talk about their past, like bring it up again, because I'm sure throughout the 3 weeks, you're talking about, oh, how was your last, da 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 da, but you didn't talk about sex, and now you're like, okay, I really like this guy. I'm getting emotionally invested. I'm almost there to really feeling like I'm emotionally invested in this. This is when I need to bring it up because I know this could potential red flag for me if the answer is.
I was just about to say that if it's something to where you have to worry about, where you think, oh, I might run them off. So basically, it's potentially a red flag for people. It should be talked about. Don't wait and then find out, oh, they don't, like you said, they ghost you. And you're wondering why. Well, yeah, if you knew. Yeah. Especially if you know that's one of them conversations that need to be had, then have that conversation.
If it's common, especially if you're now, because I know for a fact there are some women out there who that's not their top priority. Yeah. That they could go, like if the guy, if they're waiting, of course, they want to wait. They desire marriage and want to wait. But if the guy initiated it, they would be like, okay, well, let's go for it. But then there's some women who, I should say also it's strength too. It's weakness and strength. And there's also what they're battling with. Oh, I should say, because we're all battling with something. And if you're put in that position, when you don't flee, you're going to not flee.
Well, don't worry, I'll be hearing what the woman, oh, he smelled good, look good, and this and that. Y'all don't never have a conversation. He around you smelling and looking good the whole time. Yeah, you're going to fall.
Yeah, I think I like that as a basis, especially before you get emotionally invested, because it feels then like you are broken. You will be brokenhearted at the end of the day when you do find out, or you get so attached, emotionally attached, that you will just continue to tell him, I still don't want to do it. But yeah, he's like, but I do. And I'm not waiting for you like that. And so then you are constantly in a tug of war situation where you're constantly doing a little dance, because you're trying to please him, and so you're giving yourself away bit by bit. If it's not physical, like totally like in the bed physical, it's what are you doing, outside of that. And then you start comparing, and then you start thinking about, well, maybe I should be doing this in order to please him and all these things and all that stuff. So, which is something I want to bring up also, but I want to wait to finish this topic. This part of the topic.
Oh no, what was you about to say?
That being in the purity culture, being a virgin, being in the purity culture, being brought up to wait for marriage, that in the back of my mind, it still was a concern of the women that you were with. And so it was also something that I had to deal with knowing because of my inexperience. And then also trying to figure out, okay, if he did, then what do I gotta do? Now, of course, you still may be comfortable in the aspect of where it wasn't comparing or anything, or you didn't bring it up. I think I remember asking you, said, I'm not gonna talk to you about that. Nope. I remember I'm not gonna talk to you about that. And I was appreciative of that because why do we need to talk about it?
Right. You know what I'm saying? It's weird. I think it would have led down a rabbit hole.
It would have been a rabbit hole.
Because it'd be like, well, you would have been comparing yourself to what I've told you. And then it would probably like, if I could never reach that point to where what he said about what they did, that means you'll start beating yourself up. And then next, you're going to be like, well, I'm not good enough. Won't you, mess with them again? Like, wait a minute, how did it go from that? So I'd rather just like, no, clean slate.
And that's some advice for, like, I don't think, ladies, we don't need to know everything. Mm-mm. Like, we always like, oh, tell me everything. You don't have to know everything. You can know how they broke up. You can know what happened in the relationship. But you don't got to know everything, nope. You know, because if he's a new creature, and if y'all been through counseling, a new creature.
He said new creature. He's like,
I know. Incredible Hulk. Yes. Okay. Yes. If he's new, like he says he is, or like when I say new, if he's like born again and been, you know, he's saved and he's saying he's doing all the things and he is, you know, serving the church, he's showing fruit, he's doing all the things, and you're still like, but I want to know.
Let that pass go.
It's like the same aspect of, let me see your phone. Let me check through your phone. And see, and then you're going to find something and look at something. And even though he ain't did nothing, you still going to be pointing at things. Who's that? What is that?
Why that number?
Why her hand like this? You know, like.
What was y'all doing? What?
It was my coworker. We standing next to it. It was employee of the month. Like, you know, just stuff like that. Like, we won't get it out of our minds. And so I think that is another aspect that I think needs to be worked out. If you have an issue with that, if you have an issue with trying to like always try to dive in, I need to know, fix that. Why do you need to know? You know, kind of deal. And then also, don't let it beat you up, because I'm not gonna say that I don't think about it, but I can say that I have worked on it enough to where I don't have to, you know, where it's not a thing.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's another part of trust and all that stuff. So.
Nah, I know we put verses in there, so I did want to bring up.
You put verses? Oh, verses. I was like, first of all, I went to two different verses. I went to Bible verses, and then I went to the verses, the battles.
Ray J?
Ray J. To my baby's born. To my baby's born.
No, not that verse. I'm talking about the men versus women part.
Oh man.
I think if the situation was reversed, if I was the virgin and the other way around, a lot of times women see the inexperience, because even with low body count, there's a lot of women that see the inexperience as, oh, he don't know anything. So that automatically would disqualify him. So there's probably, I'm pretty sure, a lot of virgin men who are right now just like, well, I'm holding off till I find a wife, but then they're trying to hold them same standards to the women that's they're trying to date. And I know the older you get, the harder it's going to be.
Yeah, and because a lot of women are like, if they've been experienced, they want to know that they're going to be satisfied.
Right.
I think it's a lot right now. A lot of talk is about sexual satisfaction. And so they're like, well, he's a man and he has to satisfy me in that way. But yes, and it can be worked on, you know?
But that's the thing, a lot of women don't want to do the work like that. They want it already pre-made.
Pre-made. And that's the thing. So it's like, you can't win for losing.
Nope.
It's like, okay, you don't want nobody with a body count high.
How you want high body count?
Then if you have a no
body count,
then
you don't got no credit. I can understand a little bit of credit. You don't got no credit. You can't get nothing, sir.
And so that's the part where I think needs to be worked on.
Yeah.
If you're listening out here and this is you and you're like, oh yeah, I have been thinking that way. Like, you do know that there's sex therapists out there. If you're a sex therapist and you're listening to this, go ahead and put your credentials, put your stuff at the bottom. I know of one in my head right now.
Yeah, we talk to you. Oh yeah.
And that can talk to you about things like this. But you can get help. Like if something's wrong, if I wouldn't say something's wrong, but if you're wanting to try, or you need to dive in a different way, or whatever it is, it can be worked on. Don't let that hold you back from having a satisfying marriage, because it's not all about sex as well. And so that's why this conversation should be had in your dating stage, but it should not be the only thing that determines whether or not you should move forward.
Yeah.
You find out they do or they don't, man or woman, and that holds you back from anything, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's self-sabotage, and that's not letting God work. That's not letting God do God's job. You're making yourself in control. So how about you sit in the back seat? And if this is the guy for you, if this is the woman for you, then let it work. Right?
Yeah.
Let it work and get the help you need. There's help out there. There's professionals out there that can help you with all of these things.
And they want your money.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. And they'll get it. So I want to bring up this question because I guess I did bring it up and I did put it up there. So when we're thinking about the church and we're thinking about what needs to be talked about when it comes to sex, purity, all these things, who's to blame when we're seeing still the numbers are high like this, when we're seeing I guess we say there's still teen pregnancies out there, a high number within the church as well. But should we blame anybody first off? And if we're blaming anybody, is it the parents? Is it pastors? Is it leaders? Who's is there anybody at fault?
Well, in that kind of situation, I mean, yeah, there probably should be a sermon about purity and sex, which sometimes, you know, depends on the church. They will talk about it, but it's like brief. I think we heard a couple times. I know Abundant Life, they brought something up, but that had to do with people sleeping with each other when they ain't supposed to, which that was random.
What?
Yeah, at Abundant Life.
Yeah, dumb people speaking with each other when they ain't supposed to.
Yeah, because it was
like people. Song of Solomon.
No, like no, he actually brought up the fact that there's people sleeping with other people's wives and they
stopped. Okay, yeah. He like stuff like I see what you mean. Like in the sermon, he'll slide it.
It was at the very beginning. I was just like, oh, this is happening. What's happening around here? Oh, it's some drama. Hey, but
as like a sermon.
Yeah, as a sermon. Yeah, but
we're talking about purity today.
Right, purities, some, you know, sex sermons. Some, you know, it's usually you'll hear all, you know, marriage and you know, but there's people who's not married, so there need to be a sermon on that too.
Yeah.
Now, as far as the responsibility, that's not on the church or the pastor. Now, yeah, there should be some kind of, you know, I think sometimes they do have. It depends on the church, like a class or something like that.
It depends on the church and the resources
and everything, but the responsibility actually lays on one, the people that's doing it, and two, if it's the teenagers and, you know, children and stuff, that's the parents. So if your parents is out here wilding out and doing whatever, yeah, your kids is probably gonna be doing the same. Even those kids, well, I'll put it this way: there's even the parents who are super strict on their kids. Like they're doing one thing, but being real strict with the kids to have them not do what they're doing, and then they're just gonna go off and do it. That's a church lock-in.
You got to model. Parents have to model.
Yeah, parents have to model what they're talking about and show them like, hey, this is the way that needs to be happening.
And it has to be coupled with a great youth ministry.
Yes.
So if you're modeling at home and you're, you know, showing them how to live and, you know, what to do and practical and going through scriptures, but also giving them real life, because really, in essence, like we're told, we're discipling our kids.
Yep.
We are they're the first ones. Like we decide, okay, you got other people out here, you got ministries and people and you're leading or whatever, but really at home is where it starts. You're supposed to be discipling your kids. And so that's where it starts. But then also when they leave from you, it's like practice. You know, they leave from you, they should be going to, this was why I love churches with great youth ministries and youth leaders, where they are then getting the experience. They're able to ask questions away from you and be able to be in a safe place to talk and to be around other people and kids and the peers and relay information like that and be vulnerable and cry out and do all the things. They need that too. And that's what brings a healthy, you know, atmosphere. So it's a circular thing, because in essence, if your church is doing that, that means you have a great leadership.
Yeah.
And it flows. That means if you have a great youth ministry, that usually 9 times out of 10, you have a great church.
Yeah, that's true.
When you have an awesome youth ministry.
That's true.
Because there's a future generation.
Yeah.
And so it couples down. And then if you have a great youth ministry, you should also have a great singles ministry or a great house where singles feel comfortable there. And so I think a lot of churches, or a lot of singles, I should say, feel forgotten within churches.
Oh yeah, because it's like come to church and but when it comes to dating and purity and everything like that, a lot of times that's left behind because it's usually churches are focused on marriage.
Yeah, it's focused on okay, you in the church, okay, and then not only that, a lot of churches are like, oh, you want to serve? Okay, you got a husband? You got a wife? We need y'all to serve together so that y'all could
right.
People to, it's like, but hold up, I just want to be here. I don't want to have nobody right now. I just want to, so it feels like it's a pipeline. Like you got to go through, like it's a track that you go through. Okay, you in the church. Okay, now we got to get you married. And once you got married, you got to have kids. And then you gotta, we lead you up to be, and it's like, sometimes you just need to cultivate a great singles.
I got brother so-and-so over here. You might want to date him because he a man of God. I'm like, no, he weird.
Now, right. Now, I do say that it should also be a healthy environment to where there's some sort of, I don't want to call it matchmaking, but where you're able to go to a leader, and it could be that you're able to go to a leader and say, I'm interested in so-and-so, and they like, okay, I know so-and-so ain't, or so-and-so is, how about you talk to this person? He could tell you about something. Like, it could be a great process, whatever, I don't know what to call it, but and that I feel like that could happen, and it should be happening.
I just thought of something, do a speed dating, but in a way kind of like how the reality shows are, like Married at First Sight. They're like, they have a whole profile and everything, so they should set something like that and then have them do like a purity contract.
A way if they get to, oh, you mean if they match them together, and do a purity contract.
That might be something.
That's gonna be another, watch that be a show.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say. It'd be in a way a form of discipleship.
Oh, I kind of like that.
Yeah, we're gonna run that by the church.
You listening, Pastor? No, but yeah, I don't think we should solely, sometimes we say the church has a responsibility. Yes, but also you as a person have a responsibility too.
Plus, you don't want your church to be known as a sexual church either.
Right. If every time they got to keep talking about that, means something wrong.
Something wrong. Right.
The sermon is always about it.
What's going on with this congregation? Why they always?
It's like something's wrong. Like, y'all need to be having. This is why we have communities and small groups and all that stuff. Where and all that, so you have leaders to talk to, because the pastor has several things to do. Like the pastor can't just be talking about sex the whole time. Like, he's got ministries, we got families, we got people who are hurting or broken in other areas, and all that stuff. Yeah, and so, so I think that's it. Is that all we need to discuss? Yeah, I think that's good. I think as a whole, though, to kind of tie it all together, you could find your person, and who is meant for you, and you can still ask those important questions about body count or whatever, or what they, what life was like for them, their experience, in a healthy way.
Yeah,
you could do it in a healthy way, and it's okay to do it, but before you get emotionally invested in that. If it's something you are strong, you care about, which you should, because you are a living sacrifice. We shouldn't lean into temptation, into fornication, and all those things. And if you're trying to wait for marriage and you want to, this should be a high priority for you, and there's ways to do it. So yeah,
all I say is, men, focus on yourselves.
Yeah.
I know it's reverse, but I've been hearing it's tough out there.
Yeah, and I was listening to some today, Jackie Hill, the Perrys, and Ezekiel. They were talking about how much men still yearn for discipleship. Like, men want to be leaders, right? Like, you want to be leaders, but now they got to be taught also. Like, there's like, so who's teaching? So yes, men are still being worked on. Women, of course, still being worked on, but I feel like it's always pointed towards our direction, and we never go the other way and be like, men also need it, but they also need great male leaders that are Christian men who are stand-up, righteous beings to help them and lead them.
Yeah.
Hint, hint. So
I don't know if all.
So all the Christian men out there, if you want a wife, talk to DJ.
I'm gonna hurt your feelings.
Talk to DJ. That's what they need. They're already coming in broken. You gonna break them down low?
I don't know what to do. Don't do it.
Don't do. Anyway, so but yeah, I just think we just need to pray for purity inside the church, and we need to pray for men, women. Instead of talking about there is no man, I don't know, I can't find, I don't. Are we praying? Are y'all praying? Y'all, we going on road trips. We going on brunches.
I actually got some.
We doing all the things, but are we coming together and praying for the man?
Well, they that conversation, and there's a lot of women have that same conversation where they sit there and be like, "Oh, I'm looking for a man, and I went here looking for a man." One, these group of ladies, I know we need to close, but
it's okay, go ahead.
These group of ladies here looking for basically a high, what they call a high maintenance man, black man, high value black man, right?
Yeah.
But they're going to an area where there's usually not a lot of black people
to find this
high value black man, and then when they find him in this area, he's not woman. Right. He's not interested in them. He's interested in the demographic there. They didn't understand what I was telling them. I was like, it's like going looking for something that's not there, that they're there looking for something else.
Yeah.
You're going there looking for them,
and they're not looking
looking at you
because they have a different preference.
And you're like, I don't understand. You're in a whole different area where there's black men who basically grew up in that kind of environment. They're not looking for you. If they were, they would be where you at.
Where you at? Right.
So you go in there talking about, oh, I like them. I'm like, why don't you go over here? I don't like that.
Because I'm not going to find the right. Again, you're not in control of this.
So, yes, all I'm saying is, if you're look in the area where there's a lot of them. Don't look in the area where you think they're going to be and they not. Talking about, I can't find nobody. That's why you can't.
Because you're not looking in the right spots.
You looking for black men in here when they down here. Or vice versa. Ain't nothing but blue, and you looking for black.
For those who are listening, he's pointing at the wall and stuff.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
My bad.
Go watch the YouTube.
Yeah, watch the video.
You see the animations and the
you can't hear the wall and the pointing and everything I'm doing. Because that got on my nerves and they just was not hearing me.
It was not. And that it's so much discussion about that. And I can't wait for us to talk about that more about communication and where to look and all that stuff and how and in our coaching program. So we'll get to it. So yeah.
And a tip, if you are looking for a high value black man, just go to one of those
I don't like the word high value.
I don't like either. But women like it. Anyway.
No, they don't. No, you're not supposed to like it. That's what I'm trying to get at.
If you're looking for a certain kind of black man in a suit and tie or whatnot that you think, that you want, go to one of those meet and greets.
Yeah.
They had one down in 18th and Vine one time.
And so, yeah, it depends. Yeah. And they'll dress up that one time. And honestly, like.
At least they got a suit.
They got that one suit. They might not wear a suit all their professional life or whatever, but they got that one suit that they wear to funerals, Easter,
and meet and greets. That's your man, right? Anyway.
All right. No, thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of When Marriage
and Purpose
Collide.
The podcast.
All right. Continue listening. Thank y'all. Season 4. We in there. Make sure you watch the next episode. Bye.
Peace.